We can see a building collapsing and monsters terrorizing the city. In the year 2093, these monsters appeared and at the same time, crime rate skyrocketed. As the government and citizens panicked, it was not until 2095 that the first superhero appeared. His name is Zero. He slashes all the monsters, defeating them, and the dark sky clears. Once he saved humankind, he revealed the intel of all the monsters he had gathered. In 2100, crime rates and monster sightings in several countries fell dramatically as the world returned to a peaceful era. However, the hero who saved humankind suddenly disappeared. Now it is 5 years after Zero's disappearance. A boy stands in a crowd with people watching a film about Zero. Little do they know, the boy is actually Zero. His sister has forced him to find a job after being a useless parasite creature for the past 5 years. Suddenly, he hears loud screams as a popular superhero from the Shershin family has come to do a show. However, a punk attempts to assassinate him and declares that he will murder him. The audience immediately flees, and when the criminals try to kill them, the Shershin family easily defeats all the goons. The criminal makes his futile attempts to knock out the hero, but he burns him in flames. Abruptly, the criminal's leg is cuffed, and we can see Zero holding it. The criminal is surprised as this specific handcuff is used by senior cops, and the scene flashes back to the hero paying the criminal to fake a scene to increase his rank even though the criminal warned him about the risks. The hero has given him the down payment, but will only pay the rest once the job is finished, so the criminal gets pissed and transforms. He smashes the hero into a truck and defeats the rest of the Shershin family. An E-rank hero called Janshin boldly challenges the criminal even though he is weak as fuck, but when he tries to attack, he just flies up and falls to the ground. Still, Janshin doesn't give up and dashes to attack again but fails. He fails again and again and again, which makes the criminal mad. He starts running towards them, and Janshin quickly warns Zero to run away as he thinks Zero is a normal citizen. Even though Zero tells Janshin that he will die, Janshin is ready to give his life to save him, surprising Zero. Zero runs towards the criminal and uses a large mace to smash him into the ground. Janshin cannot believe what he just witnessed and immediately begs for Zero to team up with him, but Zero questions Janshin's ability. Out of nowhere, a black car pulls up and a blue-haired baddie walks out. She scans the scene, wondering what happened, and notices Janshin and Zero. Janshin sees her and realizes that she is Shui-er, the third-ranked superhero in the city. Excited, Janshin enthusiastically explains the situation and points to Zero, but Zero is gone. At home, a rich guy talks to his sister, but Zero sees his sister rejecting and kicking the rich guy out. Yulin is actually obsessed with Zero because she doesn't know her brother's real identity. Yulin nags him for being a little parasite and making the house a mess, but their parents don't care. That is because they are dead. They hear a knock on the door and Janshin comes into the house uninvited as he is here to invite Zero to become a hero. When Yulin hears Janshin talking about salary and money, she immediately sells his brother to Janshin. Janshin tells Zero that they will go to the guild to register tomorrow. The next day, they walk through the guild headquarters and see a statue of Zero and his partners, even though Zero has always fought solo. Janshin explains that heroes are grouped into ranks from E to SS, E being the worst and SS being the strongest. After heading into the exam room, they meet a big-body pirate who tells them that they will need to withstand his attacks for 3 minutes to pass, but Zero wants to beat the examiner and not just defend. Zero calmly takes out his weapon from his ass and blocks the examiner's attack. Because of this, the pirate realizes that Zero is not all talk and goes into serious mode. He continuously attacks Zero with rubble, and both of them parry each other's attacks. The examiner mocks Zero for using only normal attacks and thinking it will work, but Zero is unfazed. As the pirate goes for his final blow, Zero knees him in the face and knocks him out. Janshin and the clerk are dumbfounded. The clerk robotically tells him about the written exam and runs out, but Zero is silent as he is nervous about the written exam. The examiner opens his eyes while lying down in a hospital bed. Schwerin sits next to him, and the examiner remembers Zero, causing him to sit up and breathe heavily. As he pants, he informs Zurin that he is defeated even though she already knows. She mentions that Zero is at least an A-rank hero in terms of strength, but for sure not in intelligence as his written exam scores are shit. What she is surprised about, however, is that Zero questioned whether being a hero is justice in his answer. Meanwhile, the examinees are looking at their test scores and Zero walks away from the annoying twa. Still, Janshin keeps following Zero and continues to yap non-stop. When Zero turns around, he hears some people surrounding a helpless boy. They gang up on the nerd and shout at him. Zero wants to get help from the receptionist, but notices that they are acting oblivious. The punks threaten the boy into leaving the Hero Association, and he bravely declines. Laughing and mocking him, they try to throw him, but Zero catches the boy. Janshin rushes to attack the man, however. He is stopped easily. As the man goes for a big punch, Zero grabs both of their wrists and stops the attack. Still, the punks arrogantly introduce themselves as D-rank heroes called Golden Triangle. Suddenly, an E-rank hero named 13 speaks up. He wants to talk to Golden Triangle, but for some reason, they are pissing their pants even though he is just an E-rank. As he walks towards them, they run away, and Yanqing thanks them for saving him. Even though 13 is an E-rank, everyone is scared of him and Zero is the first guy to talk to him in a long time. 13 shows them his only friend. Bruh. Zero walks towards him and gets excited that 13 plays the same game as him. Jumping in happiness, Zero invites 13 to the team and 13 cannot believe that someone actually wants to work with him. He cries gratefully as the rest awkwardly stare at him. Onto the powers, 13 explains that he has the power to make everyone around him unlucky and gives a sob story. When he was a kid, the orphanage he grew up in burnt down, so he was sent to another orphanage. However, this orphanage was crushed in a landslide soon after. The three back away, terrified, but he assures them that Zero has rescued him before and Zero regrets saving 13. Ever since then, 13 has looked up to Zero. He punches the pillar in excitement, but it cracks, causing the ceiling to collapse, and 13 stands there dumbfounded. The statue breaks and falls on a little girl, but Zero kicks it and saves the girl. At the hospital, there are many injured patients and 13 opens the door to see Yanqing standing in a tube, but Zero assures 13 that Yanqing is fine. But Yanqing isn't fine. He wants 13 to get the fuck away from him, but Zero is not for that idea. Even though 13 thinks it is better to stay away from them, Zero wants to keep his promise about joining the team. Later, while Zero and 13 are playing a game, Zhanshan walks in as he has received a letter from his attorney. Zero and Zhanshan chill on the rooftop and discuss the criminals mentioned in the letter. While there were many C-rank criminals, many accidents happened this week that caused them to all leave. As they continue talking, Yanqing is packing all the equipment and nagging them for being lazy shits. Just then, 13 informs them that the enemy is close and they get ready to depart. The scene cuts to two groups of criminals exchanging a device for money. They first test the device and it succeeds in releasing a giant glob monster. As it is about to eat them, the man presses a button, causing it to move back. Suddenly, Yanqing and the rest of the team appear. The criminals immediately take out their nines and start shooting. However, Yanqing teleports using his glasses and steals their guns. When they activate the monster, 13 shoots it using a machine gun, yet it does no damage, so he throws some spicy bacon in its mouth, causing it to go crazy and chase after them. As they run towards Zero, Zero punts it far away, and it begins terrorizing the town. It picks up an old man, but just in time. Zero smashes the monster into oblivion. Zhanshan soon arrives, panting in exhaustion as Zero runs too fast. Telling Zero not to be so aggressive, Zhanshan shows him his new weapon, a water purifier, and rushes to attack the monster but gets absorbed inside. However, when he is spat out, he realizes that the weapon worked and the monster is getting purified. He quickly jukes the monster and jumps up to stab it with the purifier, which causes a big flood. When the water drains, Yanqing wakes up to hear the old man complaining. Despite this, everyone else is happy that water has purified their bodies and faces. He sees people giving applause to Zero even though it was actually Zhanshan who did it. They turn to see him molesting an unconscious little girl. Later, the group looks at the points they have gained from defeating the monster and is disappointed that they didn't gain much because Zhanshan decided to do a Drake. Later, the little girl is sitting in their house. Suddenly, they hear the doorbell and see Shui on the cam. Afterwards, Shui plays with the girl and suggests having lunch with them sometime, but Zero the Sigma tells her to fuck off, so she immediately gets right to the point. She gives them the little girl's information and Yanqing brings her away. Shui explains that many charity organizations secretly do human experiments and the girl is the only successful experiment. As they continue talking, the table starts shaking as Zero wants to kill all the perpetrators. The TV breaks and the whole house suddenly shakes disturbingly. Finally, Zero gets a hold of himself and tries to laugh it off, but the situation is already tense. Shui has already been doing investigations for a long time, and she has finally figured out that the enemy is hidden in the Hero Association and holds a particularly important position, that is, the president of the Hero Association.